very young. Back there he was more as my age, about 30, 32. He was a short guy, a little bit fluffy. You couldn't believe that this guy could be so powerful because he was a short guy. Actually, many black people, they are very huge, they are big people. So this one was a huge pastor, he was a priest, he had a PhD, actually, he was very educated, he was a doctor, and you couldn't believe that he could do this thing. But every movement needs a front person, a head. It's like a band. Let's say if you see Queen, they have, I don't know, you take a band and they have a very good singer. So this was a very good singer because he was giving the best of his. So, as I told you, 381 days, not 81. So he motivated this short guy, he motivated 50,000 people in the Montgomery bus boycott. Montgomery is a very small town, but still, as I told you, everything must begin from somewhere. For all these days, people didn't use the bathroom, so eventually they abolished the segregation, as I say here, and that means that from that moment, Montgomery had buses for blacks and white equally, because of the court decision. So when the court decides something, there's no other way for the people to follow it. So, Martin Luther King, after that, he created SCLC. This is the organization where Martin Luther King was the head. SCLC, Southern Leadership Christian Conference. Of course, Martin King was, first of all, a Christian. He was a Christian, he was a pastor, so Christianity, let's say, taught him that what he could do, how he will fight it. He didn't use violence because he was a good Christian. So everything is about Christian. This is the main idea. So, the next case, the Little Rock 9. Little Rock is the city, Little Rock. 9 are 9 black students. So Little Rock is the city and the 9 are the 9 young students. So there was a decision for 9 young students, young about 17 years old, that's young, for young students to go to an old white school, like Linda Brown, I told you before. They were old enough, of course. In 1975, 1957. So, beside the court decision, white people didn't want black people. They hated them. So, the decision said all schools accept black and white students equally. But this was not the reality. It was impossible to happen. So, let me show you another video which is amazing actually.
What about you, sir? Do you think the college students will show up?
This is real.
If I got anything to do with it, they won't show up. Well, I think it's a breaking point with the school integration. I just don't feel that they have the right to go to school.
It is easy to believe today that we are an enlightened society, free from problems of race, gender, or economic separation. But some of the most difficult lessons we learn are a result of individuals who push us through these divisive barriers. In September of 1957, 9 black school children, the eldest only 17, forced us into such a blockade. They sought a better education for themselves and the opportunity to pursue the American dream.
This is Central High School, Little Rock, Arkansas. Troops, which for nearly 2 weeks lined the sidewalk here in front of the high school under orders to keep the colored students out, have been replaced now from their orders to comply with the law, which means let the Negro students in if they come in.
We were
Terrence Roberts Jefferson Thomas, Thelma Mothershed, Elizabeth Eckford, Ernest Green, Carlotta Wall, Melba Patillo, Minnie Jean Brown, and Gloria Ray.
They became known as the Little Rock Nine.
These are the troops,
The
the soldiers.
1954 Supreme Court ruling on Brown versus the Board of Education found segregation of schools unconstitutional. But as the Little Rock Nine approached the high school, segregationists swarmed the campus.
They got no business out there. It's our school out there, they're on.
As the violence escalated, one schoolgirl, Elizabeth Eckford, was threatened by an angry mob chanting, "Lynch her, lynch her." President Dwight Eisenhower visited Little Rock and set a precedent for our nation as a whole.
Such an extreme situation has been created in Little Rock. This challenge must be met.
This is President
And with such
Eisenhower.
measures that will preserve to the people as a whole their lawfully protected rights in a climate permitting their free and fair exercise. In the present case, the troops are there pursued to law solely for the purpose of preventing interference with the orders of the court.
On September 25, 1957, the 101st Airborne Division and 10,000 National Guard troops escorted the Little Rock Nine as they walked bravely past screaming mobs and made their way to the classrooms of Little Rock Central High School.
Just got to put here on this end that the students are here. You feel it's worth it going through this?
Yes, I do.
These 9 heroes were willing to step forward and in doing so alter
You see the
the course
soldiers?
of history.
Every day they were with them, in the
Marquette
class,
University
in their
is
houses,
honored
in
to
their
bestow
cars.
on them the Pierre Marquette Discovery Award for this extraordinary contribution to the advancement of education for all people. The Little Rock Nine stand not just for racial equality, but also for the promise upon which our society is founded: opportunity and equality for all, willing to strive, struggle, and achieve.
This is a black university. So, in Little Rock, you saw this amazing thing. 9 students, not even 10, 9, they needed 10,000 soldiers. President Eisenhower sent 10,000 soldiers ready to take action if something happened. Because they used the soldiers in the classroom. Every class, there were 9 students. In 9 classes, they used 10 soldiers. So for one black people, there were 10 soldiers in the class. They were in, they put them in cars, and there were 2 cars with soldiers in front, 2 cars at the back. It was amazing because only for these 9 persons, they used thousands of soldiers to protect them. Because I didn't put this in this movie, because they were ready to lynch them. It was, if the soldiers weren't there, they would have lynched them. You saw the kids hanging on the tree, it would be the same thing. Almost ready to lynch them. So President Eisenhower wanted to force, to make the Little Rock government to do it. You have to remember that this is the Cold War. Cold War, Soviets and Americans. So the Soviets used in every media, in every newspaper, in everywhere, they said that the United States is not a free country. There is no free country if millions of people are slaves, like black people. So Eisenhower decided to change this image, and this is why he forced this thing. So do you want to make a break now? And then we can... So, make a break.